Now we're at a place where you can put in anything and have an entire paper written for you.
Do you think it's more likely to make students smarter or dumber? There is a point in everything we do in the traditional educational methods. For instance, there is a point in doing homework, going home, even if you've perfectly understood the lesson, the different points, researching, reading, finding answers, elaborating on what you know already and everything. All this process is so informative at the end of the day. And that's part of your experience. So you don't just stick to what was said during the class, but you actually discover things that you've learned by yourself, and you're more likely to remember. When you remove that, and then students can do the homework by themselves, and then, just like you said, you will have an AI completing an assignment for you and everything. When we remove this part of the training, and then they don't make the same amount of effort, something is gone. It's like it's just information at this stage. If they actually get to process and digest the information, but then it's just information and not much. And unfortunately, I don't think there is much we can do to stop this.
Why don't we have AI work with us and have kids develop an experiment and actually do it?
And this is the very last question. I will say the penultimate one, actually, because we have our challenge
questions.
Right. Future of education versus school plans.
Future of education.
Here's your question. How do you see the future of language education evolving, especially with the integration of technology and new teaching methods, AI and everything?
This is a conversation that I've had with a lot of friends.
Right.
AI, because it's so new right now, I think a lot of teachers are kind of struggling with how can we work with this technology so it doesn't work against us. I am the generation of computers. When I was in high school was when we had Google. And so I remember using technology as much as I possibly could to do my work for me. In fact, I remember even younger than high school, I put a math problem into a chat room years ago because I didn't want to do my math. And I put all the problems in there and somebody else answered them for me.
Wow.
Now we're at a place where you can put in anything and have an entire paper written for you. How can we use it to our benefit rather than creating an environment where kids are copy and pasting, where they actually are able to use AI in a way that benefits everyone?
Right.
There's not a simple solution to it because it's so new that I try to envision what schools are going to look like even in the next 5 years. The way that technology is moving so fast. Now we have a lot of online schools. It's at least in the United States, not here so much, but in the United States, there's a lot of kids who don't even go to school. They're taught online. And it's completely fine and it's accredited and they're getting education. It takes away, in my opinion, some of the important aspects of the things that we learn in school that aren't educational in terms of, relating with other people and social skills, things like this. I think we can't take away the technology, and we really shouldn't, because that's the future and that's the world that they have grown up in.
Right.
And that's the world that they're going to be adults in. But that being said, I don't know what the future of education looks like, and I can't even begin to predict it.
Do you think it's more likely to make students smarter or dumber? There is a point in everything we do in the traditional educational methods. For instance, there is a point in doing homework, going home, even if you've perfectly understood the lesson, the different points, researching, reading, finding answers, elaborating on what you know already and everything. All this process is so informative at the end of the day. And that's part of your experience. So you don't just stick to what was said during the class, but you actually discover things that you've learned by yourself, and you're more likely to remember. When you remove that, and then students can do the homework by themselves, and then, just like you said, you will have an AI completing an assignment for you and everything. When we remove this part of the training, and then they don't make the same amount of effort, something is gone. It's like it's just information at this stage. If they actually get to process and digest the information, but then it's just information and not much. And unfortunately, I don't think there is much we can do to stop this, because it's already there. We have everything. We have all these chat GPT and whatever AI tools students can use to complete the assignments, and that's it. Maybe we can do something to counterattack, but it's going to take a lot of work, and this is how things are going. So are you on the pessimistic way, or you would rather look on the bright side?
Well, actually, just listening to what you were just saying kind of made me think that, in a way, this technology might be taking us in the direction that we need to go. It's funny because I have said since everybody started getting smartphones that the internet, or Google, I guess, is making us stupid. Because I like to have a conversation with someone, and I like to use my brain to remember something that we're debating, like the capital of a city or the capital of a country or a state. I like to try to think back and pull that information from my brain rather than just Googling it.
Right.
Because I think we've definitely started using our brains in different ways. And that's easy to see. But in fact, maybe having this AI technology where getting the information is it's too easy now. You don't even need to read it because it's good. It's accurate. In most times it's very well done. So what can we do? Instead of having these research papers, why don't we have AI work with us and have kids develop an experiment and actually do it?
Right.
Or have kids, find times in history and apply that information from AI to a project or a presentation or an experiment or something that moves us away from this pen and paper learning to creating things.
Yeah, I mean, they do have faster access to information. Not only is it faster, but it's well structured, right? So the daunting process of reading different books and research papers and getting this specific information, you don't have to go through it anymore, right?
Looking up things in the encyclopedia.
And what have you, right? You can brush that aside now and then get into the main thing. So that's fine. But then when it comes to literacy skills, for instance, when you read through a book, an article, the efforts into it and many things, where does it go? At the end of the day, we benefit from all these things. Having the information, that's okay. But then if they don't add much to the information, that's where the issue lies, right? So
Right.
the analytical skills they need to develop and everything,
The processing and things like
processing
that. Yes.
and
But the good thing is teachers have always been innovative,
right.
and we're going to see how everything changes along. I mean, when I was in school, my teachers really discouraged using the internet
Hmm.
to do my papers, and they wanted me to write the bibliography of what are the books that I used and the page number, and going to the library and looking through different encyclopedias to get information, when it was so much easier just to look it up on the computer.
Right.
Now, kids write, well, their papers without touching a book.
Right.
So that's changed. And education is an evolution.
Hmm.
We can't stay the way that we used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to evolve
exactly.
with life.
Yeah. We need to face facts and brace it and see where it takes us anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And we've made it to the end.
Okay.
Let's count. Unfortunately, I've realized too late that I didn't have my marker, so I didn't count as such.
Whoops.
But I have them. I have the flashcards here.
Okay, so we can just count.
So here are the blue ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Only 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 3.
So green.
So the winner is green. Let's see what your challenge is.
Shall I?
You may open the
Okay.
envelope. So what does it say here?
Balancing personal and professional life.
Interesting.
Is there a question?
Here's a question.
Okay. Our challenge. Talk about a time when balancing your personal life and professional responsibilities became overwhelming. How did you cope with that? And what changes did you make? It's a good one.
Right.
Because my professional life has become my personal life.
Wow.
In a way. I have to focus a lot of time and energy into helping make this business successful. I'm not doing it on my own. I don't think I ever would be able to do it on my own. We're 4 partners, but all of us have really put a lot into making this a successful business. However, just recently, I really did have some experience with becoming extremely overwhelmed, losing motivation, feeling like I don't know if this is something emotionally I want to continue to do. I don't know if this is something that is gonna pay off. It's easy to become very negative. Sometimes, in general, I'm a very positive person, but it can be very easy. It's a slippery slope once you start questioning things and what you're doing. You can start to really get overwhelmed and frustrated, and it's hard to see how this is going to turn around. And actually, to be completely honest, I went to my doctor.
Wow.
Because it's not. I don't usually get overwhelmed. I'm pretty good at separating these different things, but I wanted to not feel so stressed and not feel so anxious.
Right.
And so I talked to a lot of friends and things like this, but at the end of the day, I wanted a little extra help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked for it. And
Always a good idea.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Right.
And this has helped me a lot turn things back around and start to see the positive side of things. I have put a limit, like I've given myself a timetable, really. So after this time of the day, I'm not working. This is my personal time.
Right.
And really creating these clear boundaries with myself and also with everybody who I'm working with as well, that even though this business is our life and we want this to be extremely successful, the only way, for me at least, that I can put my all into it is knowing that I also have my own time for myself.
Right.
And, letting myself unwind at the end of the day and having an hour where it's just quiet and finding these ways to really balance both the personal and professional life. Because they're both important. You can't let one take the other.
Mm-hmm.
They have to work together.
For sure.
And so that's what I'm learning, because it can be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Time management is everything. If you want to be productive, you want to be effective, you want to go far, you want to achieve any goal, you need to have good time management.
Yeah.
It's never a bad idea to go and see the doctor when you feel that things are not going well.
Yeah.
And talking to a psychologist and all these things.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people feel like they have too much pride to acknowledge that you might not be feeling well or normal. And now I feel that I'm even more productive because the time that I have to work is this time. And this is what I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a lot more done because I give myself that limit. When I don't have a limit, that's when I, start doing other things and I put this off, and I'm a procrastinator.
Right.
I like to wait and wait and wait until I can't anymore to do something. And so if I give myself this limit, has to be done at this time, and I do it.
Right.
And then I get to go have fun.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we're heading towards the end of this episode. It's been a pleasure. It's
Likewise.
actually been a blast, talking.
I
was
really
excited.
appreciate your question.
All right. Thanks a lot. And that will be it. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of these conversations, make sure you've subscribed, and you can also find us on Instagram. Thanks for your time, and see you soon. Bye for now.